Hello. I want to thank you first that you decided to come to my session. And first, I want to ask you, have you thought about who is responsible for design? And is it actually just the responsibility of designers that should take care for the whole design, for all design decisions for certain products? And I have thought about it. That's why I'm here today, because 4 months ago, I saw this thought in the canteen in the office and realized that this thought is actually a summary of my efforts for the last 2 years. As a designer, I've been trying to spread design thinking in my team, which is a Scrum team, and I have not been trying just to spread it so that they have the knowledge and know the definition of design thinking by heart. I've been trying to involve them in design activities because I believe the earlier in the process of design they're involved, they would know the better the customer problems, they will have the empathy for them, and in the end we will have better solutions that would be resolving the problems of our customers in the best way. So, why I'm so passionate about design thinking? It's because I believe design thinking, it's a really powerful approach that could bring and generate really a lot of value. So, 5 years ago when I started at SAP, I was just a developer doing some coding. I was really interested about it, but at some point of time I saw that the work that you do where you could bring most value to the world and to the users that will be using your product in the next year is the moment that you make decisions for the product that you're currently designing. So that actually became my passion, and that's why now I'm design thinking coach, doing workshops and making environmental solutions at SAP. And let's see first who is actually in the audience. And okay, we played this game many times during the introduction. So let's see how many of you have heard about design thinking. Okay, great. And how many of you have made products using design thinking? Great. And is there somebody who is willing to speak about design thinking and share it with others? Okay. So I'm glad that everybody of you have heard about design thinking and hopefully knows what it is, because today I won't have the time to explain all the different details and the tiny tricks that are happening during each and every phase in one design thinking project. I will speak about how do we actually involve the team and let the team experience the design thinking approach in a way that after applying it and seeing the benefits of it, to be able to embrace it and really have the willingness to involve in a product design at the very beginning. Before I start with my story, I just want to say that the story is based on my experience with my team at SAP. We've been having a lot of issues and troubles while doing this project, and it's expressing my personal point of view. So if you ask anybody, either from the team or somebody else in the company, they could tell you something different, probably. So, once upon a time, there was a team of 16 in which I was playing the role of the interaction designer. And in this team, it had its agile trainings. It was trying to work, they were trying to work in Scrum and follow all the good practices that we know there and to be agile. But one day, the Scrum Master met the product owner of the team and told him, "Hey, product owner, I have this beautiful list with 45 points inside. Why don't you prepare them for each backlog item?" And the product owner was, "Are you serious? You want me to prepare such a list for each and every backlog? No human can prepare this and have the time to do this for all the features that we need to deliver in the next 2 years." So he rejected. But let's think about, why do you think the Scrum Master had such a long list? And actually the answer is simple. He used to work in waterfall, in non-agile environment where everything and the list of requirements with each and every detail were there right in the beginning of the project for the whole year ahead. So he was expecting this also from the new product owner. But that was the time where something had to change. And 3 months later, something happened. In one meeting, our manager, one info developer or technical writer, you could call it also, and the tester were together discussing the issues that we had in the team. There were complaints about too many spam emails, non-productive meetings, communication issues, why someone doesn't know about this, why someone doesn't know about this change. So there were quite a few communication problems within the team. And while they were discussing them and seeing that all the traditional methods that they have up to now are not working, they said, okay, why don't we try a new approach? Let's try to apply design thinking and find with the team a solution for our problems that will be a solution developed by ourselves for ourselves. So they came up with the challenge how to improve the communication processes within the team. And as any design thinking project, it always starts with the research, where the two team members, the info developer and the tester, were interviewing each of the other team members, asking them a bunch of questions about any communication activities in the teams, and trying to really identify all the insights and all the pain points that they had. And what was really powerful in those conversations, that they were actually conversations between team members. There was no manager, no external persons auditing and looking at the team, are you working good or not? So the people were really open to give their feedback and really share what their experience and their problems. And after all those interviews, our info dev and the tester had so many findings that they were really wondering how are they going to cluster all this information. But spending some long hours over the findings, they managed to cluster them and to identify the most frequent ones and the most critical. And actually, they came up with a point of view that was about to be a problem for each team member. That it seems that everyone in the team needed a clear and prioritized requirement so that they could work efficiently during the task. But having this problem in mind, it's really strange how you could find a solution, because we are used to make software solutions with design thinking to make application. We always come up first to those solutions, but when you're trying to improve processes and communication, what kind of solution can you offer here? So that was kind of a challenge for them, but the solutions they came up with were 3 different processes. And they were processes for the life cycle of the backlogs in our team, how it would go through from design through internal, external validation till the ready design backlog that could go already in implementation. So having those processes as a solution, they thought, okay, how could we test this actually? We should test it with the whole team, so what can we do? And they came up with the great idea to gather everybody in the room and make a dry run of the process. It's a fast 10-minute process going from one person to another with the different rows. So we made the dry run of the process, and that was really powerful because the whole team was together. We were looking how the process is going through, and we see how one or another is working better, and we even made some improvements. But the real stroke of the insight was the moment that a similar checklist and template appear again, but this time this checklist was supposed to be filled together with a team member and the product owner, so that the team was now contributing to the definition of the backlog that we are having. And at that very moment, the product owner said, oh, but that was really fast when we, during the dry run, we defined one of the backlogs that we were doing. And at that very moment, I realized the power of the approach and how it's really, because when the team is creating something to resolve their own issues, they're making it theirs, and they cannot, later when they have defined their own process, they cannot reject it anymore because it has become their own process. And as a result, what we did, we used design thinking, and through design thinking, we improved the team's process. And in this process, we actually embedded design thinking for the process of defining our design backlogs. And in the end, in this way, the team actually experienced the power of design thinking to resolve the pain points that the team had. And if I need to say which is the win-win-win scenario, it's a win for the company because it has the right problems resolved for the customers. It's a win for the team because the team is empowered to find its best solution, how it fits best to the team and to the people in the team to work in that environment, and for the customers because in the end they're getting their problems resolved. But what are actually the critical success factors for having such a project really successful? At first, it's the manager's support, because if you don't have the manager's support, the team would never be able to spend the time and the effort to improve their processes. So somebody should identify the need for the team and to trigger such activities. Then, without the early adopters, this project could never be executed because the manager herself could never have the power to execute it in such a way that if she's interviewing them, they would never be so open for feedback. And then in the end, if you don't find a real pain point of the team, they would never experience the fact that you resolved their problems with design thinking. So they would not be willing so much to use it as an approach afterwards. And what you can do tomorrow, since you're here and at this session today, I believe that you're quite interested in design thinking, and I hope that you will go tomorrow or after the conference to your managers and ask them, let's do this for our team. Even if you're not willing to adopt design thinking, even if you want just to improve your processes, you could do it with design thinking, because it's giving the power of the team to make their own process. And be those early adopters that would really be kicking the others to see the benefits of something that they're probably not ready to see yet. And in the end, what is my wish for the future? I hope that as design thinking is such a powerful approach, it's a glue of so many skills inside, and it's really something that will make us not just better employees if we have those skills, it will make us better humans. And I know it may sound cheesy. Yes, it is cheesy, because would it make sense to live if we're not striving to build a better future for our future ones? Thank you. I would be really happy if you have questions. If you, great.
Retrospective meetings or things like that? Because you said that it took you 3 months to get that feedback. What's wrong?
No, the 3 months was just to show that there was some time range to start doing something and to realize. And yeah, the feedback we already had. We also had quite a lot of retrospectives with discussions, with action items, but then later on, after we defined the action items, nobody took care to actually execute them. So and from my perspective, it's the problem of the people with the mindset that are used to expect everything on the table clearly defined, and they don't feel responsible to contribute to design, because they expect that, okay, the designer and the product owner, they will do everything. I'm just a developer. But in the end, the developer is someone who is actually doing the product itself. And if he doesn't have the mindset of the problem that the user would be having when using the application, he might do something wrong, because he's actually the last designer of the application when he's making the implementation. Does that answer your question?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Any other questions?
Yeah, I have a question. So changing mindset is very difficult. So how did you manage, and you said that it's important to find early adopters, but how did you manage to do that? Like, obviously the manager is not an early adopter. Or she or he might be, but still is not a team member.
Yes.
So how do you do that?
Oh, in our case, I think it was more of a company culture, because design thinking was spread in SAP for the last 10 years. So there have been a lot of trainings. People know about it, hear about it. They hear it's something fashionable and innovative, but still it happened even to me that you go to a training, you hear, say, oh, it's very nice, we did a vending machine today. And you try it on something really tangible and simple, but when you go back to your desk, the next day you already throw this knowledge away. So there should be someone who is actually have been to 2, 3 trainings, have tried it, have seen that how it worked in reality, to be able to really see that it is really powerful. And this was actually for me at the beginning. I saw it the first time, tried it, Then I saw it in a real workshop, how we actually did applications and delivered them in 3 months after we did a 2-week workshop to make the design for it. And then I started to be interested more and more and to see how powerful is the approach. Is there still time? Okay. Do you want to play one game right before the break? Okay, I'd like you to stand up and gather here around. And just walk. Yeah. Just move around, don't stay at one place. So, it's a game that I learned on a workshop this summer. That was a workshop for actors, actually. So, now while you're walking, when I tell you to stop, you should continue to walk. And when I tell you walk, you should stop. Yes. Would you be able to do this? Yeah. Okay, let's try. But you can spread around. You don't need to be here just in the... Okay, so now stop. You should walk when I say stop. Okay. Now stop. Walk. Stop. Walk. Stop. Now I'll make it harder. I see you're getting better at this. Now when I say clap, you need to yell, allez. And now when I say allez, you need to clap. So let's try. Stop. Walk. Clap. Allez. Stop. Walk. Clap. Allez. Stop. Allez. Clap. Allez. Walk. Stop. Now I'll make it even harder. No. Now when I say jump, you need to make a squat. What? A squat. The kleknet. And when I say squat, you need to jump. Okay, so let's try. Now walk. Allez. Stop. Clap. Allez. Jump. Squat. Allez. Stop. Clap. Allez. Stop. Squat. Clap. Allez. Jump. Okay, great. So that was actually a concentration game, so that you don't forget everything that I told you today.